Hi Shilpi, how are you?
I'm good, Ranjit. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Thanks for being in this conversation. I know you are very excited. I can see that excitement in your face. Uh, so if I ask you, and since we are starting, if I ask you, Shilpi, this excitement, where is this excitement coming from?
So, Ranjit, I would say it's an excitement and a little nervousness that it's showing on my face, and it's coming from the fact that we will be talking about my journey as such, and I am not that expressive person if it comes to someone I'm meeting for the first time, or not very much friends with. So the fact that I will be discussing that, and this might get published to a forum, uh, that is what the excitement is all about, I think I would say.
There is a mix of excitement and a bit of nervousness also there, is it?
Yes. Yes.
And it's all with an idea of like you're expressing and you're sharing something which will get published and would be seen by a few others.
I would say yes.
So what is more, excitement is more or nervousness is more?
I can't say, Ranjit. I think it's probably 50-50 at this time, and as we progress, probably the nervousness will come down and the excitement will take over.
Okay, let's see how it goes, and what
Sure.
what stays up and what stays down, we will see it how it is.
Sure.
Okay, great. So Shilpi, if I have to ask you, as of now when you're living your life, uh, what is the best thing that you're experiencing about yourself as you're living the life right now?
I think and I've thought about, I have changed a lot of habits in myself, from where I was 10 years ago. I think what I like about me is I am more independent. I feel more confident about the things I do, about the choices that I am making in today's in day to day. So I would say that is something that I'm really enjoying about myself.
And if you can tell us, like, when you're making your own choices, when you're making all your own decisions, and that whole independence you mentioned about, can you share like a reflection of how you're doing it in your life right now, with some
Sure.
examples or anything?
Yes, and this is a very this is an example that I like to share with many of my friends. I've shared in the past as well. So my husband, right? And we dated for a while, and then we got married. So he used to tell me 12 years back, 13 years back, don't ask anyone for small things. I used to always like to take opinion. Even when we are ordering food, I would give him the option first, that why don't you order. And he's like, I'm giving you the choice, just take the choice and order anything that you like. From there to the decisions, any big decisions also that I have to make in my life today, or the small decisions that okay, if this is not working out, or I'm in a scenario where I have to make that call, from that girl to this girl, just making the decision and owning that, whatever is the consequences for my decision, owning that thing, if either ways it is right or wrong, or it comes my way or doesn't come my way, I'm just accepting it as is, and being happy with what I've done. I don't go back in regret to anything that I decide to do or not decide to do. So that is one of the example.
You're saying like now when you are making decisions, you're fully into those decisions. You don't regret any part of it, or you don't think over what will come, what will not come. You just are with the decisions, and that's how
I
you.
am Ranjit.
Mm,
And I would say, see, if there are big decisions and we have to think over it, I really think over the decisions that I'm making. It's not that I just decide on the fly. I definitely think about it, but once I make the decision, then I, whatever is the consequence of the decision that I've made. I don't go back and think of what else I could do at the time, or should I have gone the other way. I don't do that.
So what do you do now, like once you've made the decision?
So once I've made the decision, Ranjit, and it could be very small and big decisions as well, deciding what should be done, during the day, or deciding how I want my next 1 month to be. And based on that, whatever decision I've made, I will just follow through it. I try to follow through the decisions that I've made throughout the day or throughout the month, or even for next 6 months, whatever I'm deciding upon.
And how are you when you're following through the decisions that you have made? How are you in those decisions, or when you're following through? How do you see yourself?
So, and I cannot say that, I'm always in that happiest state of mind when I've made a decision that, whatever comes through, I'm in the happiest state of mind. But at least I try my level best to not regret what I'm deciding. So there are difficulties whenever, you decide to do something. It always is never a easy path to go through, to follow through the decision. There are definitely ups and downs. And when everything is up, you feel good. When there's a struggle in the following through for a path that you have decided, your mind definitely is trying to take you back to that point where you have decided it, and you're trying to think, oh my God, did I do it right? But believe me, from the person that I was, who would want to consult 5 different people to just get that feeling of what I'm doing is right, to this person, where my mind is trying to bounce me back to the time where I made the decision, and not regretting it, not feeling bad about it. I just think through, okay, if this is a difficult time, or this is the path that I'm struggling for, what can I do to make it better, so that I just follow through the decision that I've made.
So it's a big transition, isn't it? At a place wherein you had like 4 5 people around you for making a decision, to a point wherein now when you are in that stage wherein it seems difficult, and like you want or you think like going back, you are actually not going back. You are actually meeting those challenges and finding ways to just continue follow through in whichever way you can.
That is true, Ranjit. And I'll tell you, that is one of the change that I've seen in myself, which is very, very strong for, when even when I think about, all the changes that I've made in my life, in the past 10 years, 15 years, this is definitely one that I feel proud of, because, and I follow it more than I say it. Like, it is definitely true. Whatever I've decided, I just do it. And, the regret part is very, very less. And I like, it definitely comes to my mind, but does it bother me? The answer is no, it does not bother me, because I'm the one.
When you're talking about this, it really, I'm very curious to know the one you were before. Can you give us an idea how were you before?
Ranjit, I would really rely on everybody to choose things for me, because I wasn't sure if I make the decision and if anything falls through, will I be able to own it? So, I would see people as my backup, people who will hold me, or I can probably hold responsible for small things, probably my parents at the time, then my husband. I would rely on them to back me up on any small or big decisions. So from there, like literally choosing a dress, ordering food, how should I take my career forward, and what with my parents, what is my they would always tell me, you study what you like, whatever you want to decide, we will be okay with whatever you decide. And I was like, can you help me? What do you think are my strengths? And it was like, come on, you have to identify your own strengths. So from there to here, Ranjit.
True, true. So, like that time, as you said, you knew what decisions you wanted to make, but you wanted someone to give you the assurance that they are with you. And
Yes,
I think you said you were using this assurance so that in case if you fail or if you don't, it turns out to be like that, they will be your like support system, or you can tag on to them or get some kind of comfort through them. That
true.
is that is
Yeah,
how you kind of engaged, and that's how you evolved through your life. And now you're saying when you come to a stage, you don't need those comforts. Somewhere you are creating your own comfort while making that decision. And whenever that question marks are coming, like you said, in those challenges are coming in the follow through, you somehow derive your own comfort and give you that assurance
that's
that
true. Yes.
continue. Wow, that's amazing. Like going from having few people around you always, not maybe physically, but in your mind, you have some people to rely on. From there to now, like just yourself to rely and being that person to make decision and also but then backing up yourself on a regular
Yeah.
basis. Wow. So you said like small and big things you are engaging it right now like this, Shilpi. So if I have to ask you like one aspect of your life, one aspect of your life has changed in big ways or significant ways by through this approach of yours or through this confidence that you have brought in, is there any one kind of aspect of your life which has changed for you because seeing yourself doing this?
I'm just thinking, which example to.
No, yeah, I think still, if it is there, then you say because it's like because you have made a significant change in your stature, like you are making your own decisions. Generally, what happens, it starts reflecting in things which are important for you, which you
Yeah.
give importance to. Correct? There's for some people it might be home, for some people it might be career. Whatever we give importance to, it starts reflecting, and we feel good about it somewhere. Correct? So, is there any such part of your life which you feel you're feeling this goodness through the confidence you are deriving right now?
And I'll go ahead with an example, Ranjit. It may not be, what you're asking, but I think the decisions that I make, and at this stage of life, I think the most decisions I make is for my kid, because he cannot make his own decisions. So we, as a parent, we make most of the decisions for him, and I think that is one of the aspect, because see, when the kids are growing up, right, they all, like, at least I'll talk about my kid. So he goes through different mood, different phase every day, every hour of the day. And due to COVID, he's at home more. So when he's at home more, how am I treating him throughout the day? Like, what are my plans for him? What should he do in his free time? Would I let him watch more TV, not watch TV? And because I know, as a parent, we all talk about not giving um, media, TV time to the kids, or tab time, or how much should we give, not give. I think that fact, Ranjit, which I have established and I don't regret, is if I give or don't give, TV time to my kid is my own decision. I'm not going to compare myself to the to other mothers to, feel good about myself, or not feel good that uh, uh, somebody is raising a child with 1 hour TV, and I'm raising my child with 3 hours TV. So am I making that right choice? Earlier it was definitely with comparison, okay, probably it's not right to have your child watch TV. So okay, if I'm letting him and the other mothers are not, maybe I have to do something more to make sure that my kid does not. But now all those decisions, these are very small decisions, but as a mother they lead to a lot of satisfaction or unsatisfaction in a mother, because the guilt takes up all that, a lot of uh, your judgment, your decisions. I think a lot of it also happens due to guilt. So I think the small decisions that I make in every day for my kid has really helped me, uh, you know in a big way, I would say, without not feeling guilty for the decisions that I'm making for him.
So you're saying like there was a time when a lot of decisions you made for your kid uh, were not you being yourself, but because of the way like how outside things are evolving, how others are doing things. That was the case earlier, but now whenever you make a decision for your kid, you're somehow present for yourself. You exactly know what you're doing. You are quite reassuring to yourself, and you're satisfied with what you are doing. That's what you're
Yes, Ranjit. Yes, and probably it was not what others were doing at the time, but what we have heard is right.
saying.
I have read so many posts which says that uh, they're always in comparison. That I let my kid watch TV. I don't let my kid watch TV. But we both are great mothers. But
Mm,
the post is different when it comes to reality.
mm,
Everybody, if there's a group of parents sitting, there's always people giving uh, opinions on what is right, what is wrong, and then if that person is conveying in a very strong way on an opinion which that person feels is right, then the group definitely starts to think, oh, is that really right? Maybe what we are doing
mm.
is not, it's not right. Maybe we should
Right.
try the other person's method.
Correct.
But then, and that definitely leads to guilt, because you may not be able to follow what the other person is asking to. And if you have that in mind, that the other person is probably right and what you're doing is not right, then that guilt just keeps getting to you. But then if you know that you are deciding for your kid, and no matter what, uh, you will you will make sure that you're following through your decisions, and if you feel that your decisions are right for your kid, I think that guilt goes down, and you're in a very happy state of mind. And if you're in a happy state of mind, everybody around you is happy.
What's this guilt about? Like, what's this guilt about?
The guilt could be like I said, in the example, that if a person says that uh, somebody has published, Harvard Business Review has published an article where it says that if the kid is watching TV for more than 3 hours, it's not good for the mental development of the kid. Just an example.
Mm-hmm.
So if that person expresses that thought that, having the kid watch TV for more than 3 hours is not good, then that thing, either you follow through, that you ensure that your kid is not watching TV for more than 3 hours, then you will be happy. But if you fail to do so, and you have that in your mind that it's not good because somebody has told you, and you have that in your mind, that if you're not able to control that watching of TV for more than 3 hours, then that guilt builds up, saying that I'm not doing it right for my kid. There's I'm not able to give my kid more time so that he watches less TV. So that's the guilt. That's just an example, but there are,
Somewhere you start feeling that you're not doing the right thing for the kid, and
yes,
you start maybe you start telling all these things to yourself.
correct.
And where does it
But
take you? Because I'm sure it's very heavy when such things comes, isn't it? Like where does it take you when such things come to you? Like all this.
so luckily, Ranjit, for me, I think from the very first year Arjun was born, I would say that my mother, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, they all kept telling me that, and they never judged me or gave me any opinion on how I should raise my kid. I think that is where I got my confidence of, however I'm raising him, he's I my the only aim is to make sure that my kid is happy when he grows up. That's my only intent. And I think sometimes it just hits me when people give opinions about how the kid should be raised. But because I have that in back of my mind that I'm doing everything that I can
Mhm.
for my kid, it does not hit me that hard. But I just ignore all the conversation and get away with my life? The answer is no. If there's a conversation that happened, it definitely remains in my head, and probably I even try to I try to implement that in my life. But if I'm not able to, I don't keep it in my head that, oh my God, I'm not able to do this now. What will happen? Because for me, I have established that thing, Ranjit, and it has come from the decision making that, if I'm doing everything that I can do, then that is all is expected out of me as a mother. I don't need to do everything right or everything perfect. If I'm giving everything, that I feel is right, then I think that would be enough.
So you are saying like you have changed into a phase wherein now you know what you are doing, and many ways that is enough for you too, because you know you are doing what you can, correct? And
Yes.
that gives you a lot
Yes.
and all that guilt and everything doesn't come to you as it used to come earlier. So my question to you is it so easy that it came so naturally to you, all this?
It did not, Ranjit. It's a very hard, it's a very difficult path for me. So I'll share an example. Okay. When Arjun was born, we came to India I was there for 5 months. And when we came back, we just got his yearly, test, like visited the doctor for all his yearly checkup. And the lead content in his report was high. And the doctors called us and they told, lead content in a kid high is a really bad sign. What is he eating? Where did you guys go? You have to get your home checked. When was it painted last? Like all that scary stuff. And I came home and, we met a few friends. And see, this is the guilt I'm talking about. So the day before we took Arjun for his regular checkup, I got hurt. I think I was bicycling and I fell down and I got hurt. And Arjun saw that and he started to cry because he knew that his mother is in pain, and he cried. And I had that thing in my mind that, my child loves me so much that he's crying because he knows that I'm hurt. And the very next day, when the report came and, doctor told us all the scary stuff, we went to a friend's house and I started to cry, and I was crying so much. And then, my friends kept asking, what are you crying about? And, the guilt, see, my answer is like, no, I'm not able to take care of my kid. That poor guy, if I get hurt a little bit, he cries so much. And I don't know what I was doing for 5 months that he has his lead content so high. I'm feeling so badly as a mother. And that is the guilt because I know I've done everything. And still, if my kid has a lead content, I took it upon me. Irrespective, I have done everything for him, irrespective of how he got that. I just took everything upon me that I have not done something right. I could do more. And I cried for hours on that. And this was just 6 years back. So from there to this, small things, Ranjit, I started owning small things. I started, then that was that. I was really a fragile person, I would say, at the time, because I would, if it comes to, decisions that you make for your kids, because that whatever decisions you're making for them is going to shape their life. When they are independent, obviously what decisions they make is up to them, but till that time you have whatever you're making is actually shaping their life. So from there to here, it's a very difficult journey. I think every year I have improved a bit. Every year I have taken more effort to not feel guilty, to do what I feel right, and to own it.
See, and that's amazing, Shilpi. Like you, the kind of depth of guilt you can go, is like it's unbelievable what you said right now.
Yeah.
And you also said that it all comes from because you want to somewhere create a good future for your kid. Right? Everything
True.
is from that perspective because in many ways they are at a moldable age, and a lot of that molding is coming from you, and you want
Yes.
to be a good future for them. So that's a huge pressure for any mother, correct? And
It
you
is.
say that when earlier you had the pressure, you used to go in guilt trip and think about it and all, but now you don't go into that. You
Mm.
somehow are very comfortable in your own skin. You make your decisions. So, but the pressure, I believe, if I'm right, is the pressure or is the kind of aspiration to have your kid a brighter future? I'm sure it is still there, correct?
It is there, Ranjit. And yes, definitely. I mean, that will never go away. I don't think, that thing has even gone away from my parents. I'm an adult making my own decisions. But if you talk to my parents, probably they'll have the same thing, same feeling that I have for Arjun. It's the same feeling. I think that never goes away. But the thing is that if either I can do everything and still feel guilty, or I can just do everything and own what I'm doing. So I've decided to take the path where I do everything and I own it.
And how you came to this awareness, because this is a big change in you, and obviously you are reaping the benefits and goodness of it. So how you came to a stage wherein you started knowing that this is what I want to do?
Probably there is no one day or 1 year that I can describe, Ranjit, but it's just that if I would put it this way, if I have to make a lot of choices, lots of decisions on my own, then I cannot always rely on somebody to back me up.
Mm-hmm.
And if earlier, if the decisions were only for myself or my spouse, it's a different story. But when you have somebody looking up to you, you have to make a lot of decisions for that person. And I would say the transition came from there. Every day, every morning when I wake up, what should I feed my child? From there to what time does he go to bed, there are multiple decisions that you're making. And with that, and this is one example that we are talking about my kid, but then the same thing comes when you're working. So if you're working and you make a decision, it goes south, then you are owning it, right? And I used to always do that when at work, because when you're at work, you don't have that liberty of somebody else backing you up, or uh, you know justifying what you have done. You have to justify everything that you have done at work, right or wrong. You are owning the decisions at work, but then why not implement the same thing at home? So that thing, working at in office versus and owning the decision versus being at home and always feeling guilty for not doing enough, or probably doing and then feeling bad. Oh, I did this, maybe I could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So both the things, when you really think about it, and it's not just one day. It took me 7 years, like from when Arjun was born to now. I think it took me 7 years to really feel. And I would say, Ranjit, at least it for the past 2 years, I've been following that. I make decisions and I don't go back and think about it. I think all that thing came naturally. It's just because we are making more decisions, and I don't have the liberty of really going back and uh, feeling guilty. Because if a mother starts to feel guilty about the things, I think it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on any person, I would say. But yeah, mothers probably they are more um,
Sensitive
they
also.
take more guilt on themselves. Yeah.
Correct, correct. So, with all the changes that you mentioned, has your relation with Arjun changed? Your son changed, or has it changed in any way?
I think it has grown more than ever, because uh, you know if if i'm if I'm making decisions, and if I'm okay with the decision, good or bad, then it's less pressure on my kid as well. Because if I make a decision and I feel that it has to be right, and if
Mm-hmm.
it does not go according to what I feel is right, then some way I'm in some way it also comes on my kid. Maybe I'm you get you start to feel unhappy, and that unhappiness shows in your relationships as well. But if you're okay with whatever you've decided and however it goes, then I think the relationship only grows stronger, because there is no pressure on anyone. There's no pressure on my kid, there's no pressure on me. And if you don't have any mental pressure, I think any relationship would only grow for better.
So beautifully said. Like Shilpi, you said, like, if you are not under pressure, you yourself are not under pressure to make it only this way, kind of stuff. Then that pressure will not go to your kid also. They will not be pressurized, and they will have their own space to do what, and they can grow very naturally. And that
Yes,
whole pressure that we create, it naturally gets diluted or it goes away. And you
correct.
see not reflecting or any way impacting on the relationships. Wow.
Yes.
So you might be feeling lighter, isn't it? Lighter and more when you are with your son now.
Believe it, Ranjit, and not just son, like I feel that in all of my relationships, like with
Mhm.
my husband, with my friends, because I if I don't want everything to be just right, or and I don't feel guilt about something I said, something I did, I think all the relationships that I have, I feel lighter. I don't feel that pressure. And if I don't feel that pressure, nobody, at least I would like to think so, that, nobody around me feels that pressure as well.
Correct, correct, correct. So in many ways, earlier you said like you had this 10 things, this is the way it should be done, this is the way it has to be done, those kind of things. Something is being taught through whatever you have learned or whatever you have seen, and it was putting pressure on you. And
Yes.
that pressure was going on people who you love, maybe your son or a husband or a friend, isn't it? It was going through and you had no control as if. But now when you know it is coming from you, you exactly know what you are doing, and there is no pressure on anyone. They don't have to behave in this way only or that way only. They can express in their own way because you somewhere are expressing in your own way. So that
Yes.
whole pressure that used to get created when you interacted with others, it no more exists in that way. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. So it is you're experiencing this across your relationships now, this whole elevatedness or lighterness.
It is, Ranjit. Yes. At least it is from, from my side, like at least in all my relationships, it is how it is. And that's why I said, I would like to think so, that the pressure is also not on the other person.
Hmm. Okay. So you're enjoying it more now because you have time to enjoy and not under pressure now.
Yes. And I joke about it, I joke about this feeling to my friends, and I say that, sometimes I feel that um, I should really be in that mother's shoe and, tell my kid, hey, what are you doing? I don't like it, and then I feel I don't know, probably when he grows up, he'll tell me that, mom, why were you not like a pressurizing mom to me? I would have been a better person.
So you started feeling bad about it, or it's a joke now?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I tell my friends that,
I'm glad it's a joke
yeah.
because you have taken a lot of effort and you have gone through a lot in your 7 years to be at a state of enjoyment that you are right now, isn't it? It's
Yes.
oh, amazing. So and all this are coming now, like this whole being your own self. You are being your own self and also putting yourself in your decisions. And in the journey also you are stepping as yourself and helping yourself, whether it is in terms of guidance, whether it is terms of motivation or whatever it is, you are somewhere there for yourself, Shilpi. Uh, so when you are this and when you see about the important aspects of your life, the son, the family, the profession, or your health, or anything like that. So what is the level of optimism you have of all this right now?
So Ranjit, I mean, and at the cost of sounding very optimistic, I really feel good about how I'm where I am in my life now in terms of health. Last time we discussed. So in terms of health, definitely my definition of being healthy changed 180 degrees from what I think was being healthy to, where I am right now, and feeling that, the feeling of being healthy. So that definitely changed for me from past 2 years, I would say, or at least a year and a half, when I started my journey with Mansa. So my health definitely changed. The definition of health changed. So in terms of health, I'm very convinced of how I am, and how I want to continue my journey. In terms of where I am in my career, in terms of how I'm handling, my day-to-day life. I say there are days when I feel that I I I like life cannot you cannot be always happy, or you cannot always be on that high. Everything is right. There are challenges. So the challenges definitely, I have to sit and think through that. But then I don't take that the challenge that I have in the other decisions that I make throughout the day, because it is there, and I'll sit and think about this challenge on how to handle. But does that affect my day-to-day plan? I would say no. And if I'm able to do that, I'm definitely at a good stage in life, I would say. Earlier, if I had say at work, if I have made a decision which did not end so well, like probably talks with colleague or something is stuck and I'm not able to solve it, I would definitely bring it home. And it would be in my mind. I would think about it all day, all night, and then again the next day, and it would go on till it is resolved. And it would definitely affect all the decisions that I'm making, all that I'm doing throughout the day. But can I say it now that it does not happen? Yes, it does not happen now. My work, if I'm stuck, if I need to do something, that will happen in the 8 hours that I work. I don't bring it later in the day when I'm with my son, when I'm with my husband, in any decisions that I'm making. Definitely, it's not there.
So you are so much, where you are, whether it is challenges you're facing, whether you're having your days of high or moments of high, you exactly know where you are and what you're facing. That awareness is so much clear in you right now.
I think, Ranjit, I always knew. And the decision also that I have to bring this home was also my own decision. I like that, probably that feeling, of always being preoccupied. I think that was the feeling that was bringing all that work factor, or any decisions or any obstacle that I have. I always like to be preoccupied with all that feeling. And that's just, what I feel is the reason that I bought everything home, or I kept thinking about it until it is resolved. But now, knowing that, I like to be preoccupied, now I make sure that, that factor is not there anymore.
You don't bring it only now,
No.
and you are already preoccupied with things that you want to do, which it's like the thing that you really want to do. So that way they don't come to you, and you're only focusing on the things that you want to do and taking them through the flow that you told about. So
True.
that's so amazing, Shilpi. So I will take a pause here, and everything will stop our conversation here. But it was really amazing in the way you said the changes that has happened, like from being someone who used to depend so much on others in many different ways to feel good about herself, to know that whether what I'm doing is right or wrong, for any such assurances or feedbacks or acknowledgements, you're relying so heavily on others, and obviously it was having a toll on your life in many
Yes.
ways, in your relationships and how you were engaging. From there to now, like when you told that you exactly know where you are, you exactly know what you are doing, and once, even after you are doing it, you exactly know how you are heading, whether it is a bad day for you, good day for you. You're so much in that, and you can take control of it in your own ways. And that's so empowering, Shilpi. I think even listening to that, hearing to that is very empowering, believe me. And I can only imagine the feeling that you will be getting when you are in such an empowering state about yourself. So it is so brilliant that I spoke to you and you shared such an integral part of your life, which is defining and evolving you in so many different ways. Thanks a lot.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot for being in this conversation. And for my viewers, as you have seen, like as Shilpi has said, see, there are so many things where the mothers go on guilt trip as an individual, and she gave a gist of it. And it just takes them down, and they look for so many things as reassurances so that they feel good about themselves. And from there to now where Shilpi is, wherein she exactly knows where she is. She exactly knows where she is stepping into, and she is taking a good control of it. And as she said, when she does what she likes, she is not putting pressure on anyone that she is engaging with. And obviously, that is helping her see the relationships growing, her engagements growing, and becoming lighter and elevated. So I hope, like me, you have also rejoiced being in conversation with Shilpi and enjoyed like the transition of her from being that overwhelming state to being now in a very lighter state where she's enjoying her own life. Thanks a lot for being with me in this episode of In Conversation. And until next time, I will see you next time. And thanks for being again. Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Okay.
Shilpi.
Thank you, Ranjit.